de-weaponizing weather with reality and perspective.
Any of you people out there remember Steely Dan? Remember that song, Reeling in the Years? What passes as knowledge these days, I can't understand. If you look at what President Biden and the Democrats constantly fret about in the United States with this climate change, they've made it such a high priority, they're taking a whole government approach to addressing it. In fulfilling their aims at curbing emissions, the entire Biden administration has been systematically and intentionally dismantling the powerful, reliable energy system America has built over the past century and offering in its place little more than vague promises of clean, renewable energy that will miraculously appear to replace it. The reason why there isn't really a solid example anywhere in the world that green energy has proven itself to be a success is because it doesn't work, or it doesn't work as the main source. It can be a supplement, it can help out, but this is ridiculous. I'm sure Mark Morano's talked about this before, and it doesn't really go hand in hand with weather, but it's because of climate they're doing this. And me, as a guy who loves the weather and loves the climate, does not like seeing what I love get dragged through a sewer that is going to be pushing civilization down the drain. This is TNT Climate and Weather Watchdog meteorologist Joe Bastardi asking you to enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
Challenging the consensus and debunking the narrative. This is Viewpoint.
The World Economic Forum's Global Shapers community is active in 147 countries. It boasts of its network of young people driving dialogue, action, and change. The Global Shapers community recruits young people to further the aims of Klaus Schwab's technocrats at the World Economic Forum. This is a program to control the world and eliminate individual freedom. This is a program for a circular economy, a belt-tightening economy. The Global Shapers community started in 2011. It claims to be a grassroots network and offer youth-led solutions for change. But it is run top-down and grooms youth for future lavish leadership roles and promotes sustainable consumption for the masses to address a non-existent climate crisis. Future young leaders deserve better, such as optimistic vision of freedom, creativity, and economic growth.
If you're talking about it,
our children are not guinea pigs for science experimentation.
We're talking about it. Today's News Talk Radio, TNT.
My second guest this hour is Ashutosh Pathak. He has 25 years of TV journalism experience. He is editor-in-chief of QVive Digital News Network and a working committee member of Universal Health Organisation in India. Universal Health Organisation is a forum of health professionals and journalists to ensure impartial, truthful, unbiased and relevant information on health reaches every citizen of the world so informed choices can be made about their health. It seems appropriate given our last guest. Ashu, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on your show, Richardson.
Yes, it's very good. Yes. Keep calling me my last name. I like that. It's very formal.
Finally, we are talking on TNT.
Yes. We struggled just a little bit yesterday. I crossed to you, but unfortunately we couldn't get you, but I can hear you loud and clear now. It's perfect. Can I start by asking you something that I would like to know? Because I always heard about Uttar Pradesh. Obviously, it's a state in India, over 240 million inhabitants, and they used a particular protocol which included the use of ivermectin, which was a word you weren't even allowed to say in Australia. I don't know what the rest of India was like. Even now, when I say it, I look over my shoulder because I'm frightened someone's going to, take me away. But it was a very effective protocol, wasn't it? Like very minuscule. Yep.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Uttar Pradesh done a splendid job during pandemic, and this was the only state in India which to some extent denied the protocol given by WHO and controlled by Gates and Melinda Foundation. Mm-hmm. Indeed, their officials were very active in Uttar Pradesh. They were pushing agenda for remdesivir and their protocol. But the doctors from Uttar Pradesh, particularly in government hospitals, they did their work based on ivermectin and other medication protocol. And they worked a lot. And what happened? The Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, they vehemently opposed. But somewhere from some pocket, there was a little pressure, I believe. So in the end, Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Yogi Adityanath, absolutely met with Bill Gates, even in the last visit in February, when he met, but he refused to go to Davos. He was the only chief minister, he refused to go to Davos. It was Mr. Yogi Adityanath. And I think that we all are praising for that. He's the only chief minister. For some regions, they met Bill Gates, but they know who Bill Gates is and how they are controlling WHO. And therefore, they denied all the protocol given by WHO. And their doctors done a great work, and they could save millions of lives during pandemic. That was the truth. Yeah, Richardson.
How did they get away with it? Why was the chief minister of this one particular state, massive state, able to do this where others weren't able to?
See, it's a great fallacy with all the political class in India. It is for the first time, even in US or in Australia, must be some opposition voice against the government. But you will find here in India, not a single parliamentarian who is in opposition party, and they are opposing government on pandemic issue. Why? Because all the opposition parties are in hand in glove with Gates Foundation. And they were, in fact, the dear friend earlier. And now, government of India, to some extent, there is a great influence of Gates Foundation in Indian administration. So they keep coming here, and for last 20 years, they want to penetrate in government agencies. And finally, they penetrated to some extent. But they did not get maximum benefit from government side. They were trying to impose vaccine mandate, but they could not get the success because of the judiciary. See, the media and the whole political class, they were absolutely in association with Gates Foundation, I may say, with strong words. But some people, some media organization like ours media organization and Universal Health Organization, some doctors from premier institutes, they came up from some technocrat from premier institute, they came up and they stood up. And now this information even went to the village area and went down to the common people. And they received that there is a foul play, there is a great handiwork. A World Economic Forum, Gates Foundation, and Rockefeller Foundation, they are in fact controlling the whole medical protocol. And now they are knowing who Anthony Fauci is and how pandemic erupted. So now they are having much more information. But yes, the government of India still has to wake up.
So what payback would have there been then for a chief minister of a state as large as that to push back against this, as you point out, this Gates-Weth agenda? He must have paid some price.
No, not yet, because he belongs to the same political party which is in power in the center. In center, it means that in Delhi, this is Bharatiya Janata Party. He belongs to the same political party. So to some extent, he's a very robust chief minister. He's a very strong chief minister. He's having people's strong backup in their constituency. So therefore, he can take the risk, and he took the risk, and he stood up. But to some extent, when he met Bill Gates, I found that why he met what was the pressure. So I thought that, that there must be a pressure from center, and that's why he met. But as I feel that he is a very strong chief minister, and he is not in association with Bill Gates. To some extent, it is a wrong news and bad news for Bill Gates.
So in Australia and through most of the Western world that I was aware of, the media were just so aggressive in their campaign. I know you've worked in the media for over 25 years, so you know how it works. It was that sort of aggressive campaign acted out on, because over 1.4 billion Indians. I mean, that's hard for an Australian audience to understand. That's that amount of people. How effective was the media in propagating the COVID narrative, or propaganda, I should say?
It is only media. I can tell you, Richardson, the biggest culprit is media, and the few journalists are taking the call. And it is controlled probably to some extent. And now they are giving narrative to the government. And you won't find that who is controlling whom. Is media controlling government or government controlling media? Because they got financial backup from Gates Foundation. It is very evident now. One largest news group that is called Indian Express. And in last visit of Bill Gates, Indian Express called him for a lecture, and he was giving lecture that how India should come up from this pandemic and how India can control this pandemic. He was giving lecture, and it is only media, all the mainstream narrative, all the mainstream media, be it print, be it digital, be it electronic, satellite channels, even radio, all the mainstream media, they were propagating, they were making narratives for false COVID cases. And it was, I think, it was the pandemic created by media. It is not a complete scientific, any kind of a scientific pandemic or else. It was a pandemic created only by media. Forget about politicians, forget about judiciary, forget about doctors and scientists. It is only media who has been a great culprit. They did all the narrative. In fact, they are the killer. They are the murderers. And with the strongest word I can tell you, they are the real murderer. And we are making every now and then. We have sent a notice to the vaccine manufacturer, that is Adar Poonawalla. That's it's the biggest institute, Serum Institute, in which Bill Gates is having probably 60% stake. So we have sent a notice of 10,000 crore rupees. And in terms of rupees, I will convert it.
I've lost you again. Ashutosh, are you there? I seem to have lost Ashutosh just as he was getting interesting too. He's going to make a currency transfer from rupees to maybe even Australian dollars. I imagine he was probably going to go to American dollars too. And I wanted to ask him about Narendra Modi, obviously the Prime Minister of India. And we'll just wait and see if he comes back on. So you can just... Ashu, are you there?
Yeah.
Sorry, we couldn't hear you for a while, but you're back. Yes, please keep going. The media.
Yeah. In fact, it is only media, Richardson, who is they are the biggest culprit. They done all kind of wrong narrative. They spread the wrong news. Always, they started trying to enhance the case. And they tried all kind of do that the vaccine will work. Vaccine is the only remedy. They spread this news to the common people that vaccine is the only remedy. There is no medication for COVID-19. It was only media. They invited a very crooks, I may say, all the crooks doctors, ill-informed doctors, and sold doctors probably to the WHO and Gates Foundation. They were appearing on national satellite channel, and they were round the clock. They were saying that without vaccine you won't survive. Vaccine is the real remedy. So you have to take all these shots, first jab, second jab, and third jab, and be prepared for the booster jab. So they created this kind of narrative. So I think that the real culprit is only media, and we are fighting against them. We are sending notices to them. Our lawyers like Nilesh Ojha from Mumbai High Court, Prashant Bhushan fighting case in Supreme Court, Colin Gunjalbis, another a great lawyer, he is also fighting case in Supreme Court. And as far as our judiciary is concerned, they are lit sensitive and they are now listening us.
Ashu, we have only got about just over 30 seconds left. So I want to know, how effective is the media of actually reaching 1.4 billion people?
Yes, media is effective, no doubt. It's no doubt about it. They are making opinion, but in the village area, there is you can say that little scope for influencing people. But yes, media is playing a critical role for making a great opinion. That's why I'm telling you, during whole pandemic period, media was the real culprit.
Ashutosh Pathak, thanks so much for talking on the Damien Richardson show. Hopefully we'll get you back and we can dig in even further, because I'd like to talk to you about your Prime Minister and what role he might play in the future as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Danny. Thank you very much. I would love to come again on your show.
You're listening to TNT Radio.